All right. So this is advanced financial management. And I would want us to look at this question. That is November 2020. November 2020. November 2020. November 2020. Question number 4B. Once you get that question, could you kindly, in this case here, mention there, yes. November 2020. November 2020. Question number 4B. November 2020. Question number 4B. Is there somebody who has been able to get that question, my good students? November 2020, question number 4B. November 2020, question number 4, boy. It's fun when you are the teacher, especially knowing very well that you're not going to do an exam. Yeah, great. So have they gotten the question, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, yes, yes. So now we can do the question. So I'm trying to imagine if this examiner will be a tough ninja, yeah, what are these quite extremes can he touch? You know, he's a tough ninja. He'll be able to look at various extremes, yeah, and get questions from there, one or two, which may scare my students. Of course, however tough he will be, we are as well seasoned ninjas. We still have to pass. So November 2020 is one of those kind of extreme but very easy questions. Only there are times students are not able to interpret such questions very well. So you're told an investor has acquired a call option. So remember, a call option gives you the right to buy. Yeah, the right to buy. But of course, not an obligation. The options premium is 5 per option. So the excess price there is 100, and the options premium is 5 per option. The following are the possible market prices in shillings of the option. So they want us, number 1, to determine the option value based on each of the above market prices. Ladies and gentlemen, I gave you a very good example of somebody who is selling potatoes in Moranga, just here, good town, good town. So you go and discuss, you as a hotelier based in Nairobi, you discuss with this guy, tell this guy, I'm giving you some initial premium of say 100,000, which will be able to enable you till you have 50 acres and of course buy, in this case here, seeds. Yeah, so you can, in this case here, plant potatoes. When, in this case here, you harvest, then I will be able to come and buy these potatoes from you at 3,000. Yeah, so this one here is what we call a call option, because the option that you have will be able to give you the right to buy, but you're not obligated. So this is what we call exercise price, exercise price. Now from there, harvesting has come, we look around. So the market price, the market selling price, the market selling price, the market selling price, the market selling price. In this case here, for example, if the market selling price, when I'm down there, I realize, ladies and gentlemen, that, I realize in this case here that there are farmers who are selling the product, they're selling their potatoes at say 5,000 shillings. At say 5,000 shillings. Yeah, but remember I have a locked in option price. So my option price is cheaper here. So it means that I will be able to exercise the option. And then I make in this case here a profit. A profit. Because you see other farmers are selling at 5,000. So myself, I'll be very, very lucky. I'll be able to buy these potatoes at 3,000 instead of 5,000. So anytime you're given this kind of a question, and then they want you to get value of an option. They want you to get value of an option when they're giving you market price versus excise price. Then to get value of an option, you will simply come and take the market price. You take the market price, you subtract the exercise price. So you take the market price, you subtract the exercise price. So the market price, like here, is 5,000, but myself, I'm getting this at a discounted fee of 3,000. So then the value of the option here will be 2,000. For you to be able to understand very well, let's in this case here copy the information given in columnar form. In columnar form, you can see they have given me various selling prices. They have given me various selling prices. So I have here the selling prices. So they've told us there the possible market prices. So we have here the selling prices. So the selling prices, what do we have over here? So we have here 114, 112, we have 110, we have 108, we have 106, we have 105, 104, 102, 100, 98, 98, 98, 96, and then 94. 96, and then 94 like that. Great. So remember, we are doing November 2020. Sorry for that. We are doing November 2020, question number 4B. So you see, I have a selling price. So then what I need to do is to come and answer Roman 1 quite fast, where they want us to give them the option values. So option values. So in this case here, value of option. How do I get this? It is the selling price given minus X. X is the exercise price. X is the exercise price. So the selling price given minus exercise price. Minus exercise price. Selling price minus exercise price. Selling price minus exercise price. Let me ask you, great students, a question here. Has this examiner given us the exercise price? Has he given us the exercise price in this question? How much? How much? What is the exercise price? 100. So like the first one, it will be 114 minus 100. 112 minus 100. 110 minus 100. 108 minus 100. 106 minus 100. 105 minus 100. 104 minus 100. 102 minus 100. 100 minus 100. The selling price is 98 minus 100. Then we have in this case here 96 minus 100. Then we have 94 minus 100. So then you will be able to give me answers. So like the first profit, not profit, but value of an option is 14. Very good. So this one is 12. Very good. This one is 10. Yeah. So this one here is 8. This one here is 6. This one here is 5. This one here is 4. This one here is 2. This one here is 0. How about this one? Wongo. It's not possible for option value to be negative. If I go and realize, ladies and gentlemen, that there are farmers down there who are willing to sell their potatoes for 1,000. I can never make a loss. I do not have an obligation. So in this case, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you talk of value of options, it's not possible for you to make losses. Whenever you see possibilities of losses, you simply put 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Don't exercise. So where you are seeing losses here, do not exercise. So is there somebody who has learned something there? Somebody who has learned something there? Great. So now you have all the marks for Roman 1. You have all the marks for Roman 1. Value of an option. Don't forget this. If the examiner tries to go to the extremes and he asks this kind of a question, don't forget this is really, really important. So then we go to Roman number 2. Roman number 2. So Roman number 2, they are asking us there to determine the profit or loss associated with the option on the basis of each of the possible market prices. So now remember, we had already paid this person some premium upfront. We had paid this potato seller some premium upfront. Is there somebody who is able to see a premium? Premium is a fixed cost. It doesn't matter what is going to happen. Premium is fixed in all. So we have here the premium. So then we'll be able to come and have premium here, which basically is fixed. Yeah, a premium of 5 across. It's fixed cost. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. So this one, even if you're making a zero value option, you had already paid it. Then you come and create a column here for profit. You can just call it profit. Profit. So very easy. You take your value of option, you subtract the premium paid up front. So then this will be 14 minus 5. So this gives me 9. This gives me 7, 12 minus 5. 10 minus 5, this gives me 5. 8 minus 5, this gives me 3. 6 minus 5, this gives me 1. 5 minus 5, this gives me 0. 4 minus 5, now here you can come and have your negatives here because we are deducting a premium which had already been paid. So even if you don't exercise, then your money, in this case, has gone down the drain. So in this case, you have a negative profit there. Yeah, so this gives me minus 3. This gives me minus 5. Then we have here minus 5 throughout. You have answered Roman 2 of this question. Yeah, good question there. Yeah. Yeah, a good question there. So, it's not about you buying at 114. Or in this case here, yeah, you buying at 114. No. It's about the selling price being 114 and you're going to buy this at 100. You're going to buy it cheaply. It is the savings which becomes the value of an option. What you are able to save, that is the value of your option. Is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Not even about losing. It's about saving. Remember, like I gave you a very good example of the potato seller. We've agreed with this guy to sell to me at 3,000. So if I go and get the other guys on a loan of 5,000, I mean a loan of 3,000, then I've saved. It is these savings in this case here that are amounting to your value of an option. Yeah, so please focus fast. Focus fast. Let's finish the question. Let's finish this fast call option. You work with it to the end so they don't mix up issues. Yeah, focus. Great. So up to here, are we okay, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, great. And then now we go to the last section of this question where they want us, in this case here, to represent the information above in a diagram where the x-axis represents market price and the y-axis represents profit or loss for the option buyer. So they want the selling prices, ladies and gentlemen, to be on the x-axis and these profits or losses to be on the y-axis. Easy, easy. I'll be able to get, I zoom the board. I mean, you guys are not able to, you're not able to see my board. You're not able to see my board. I thought today the board is very, very clear. Okay. Much better. It's clear. Great. Yeah, yeah. All right. So then if you tell me this, of course, I can see the highest price is 114. That is the highest price. The lowest, in this case here, is 94. 94. So let's try plotting this. Can somebody in this case here give me this range? Give me the range. Range is the highest value, 114 minus the lowest value, 94. Can somebody give me this range? 114 minus 94, 20. 20 is perfect. So it means that each box can just take like 2, 2, 2, or rather each divided by 10. If I want 10 boxes down there, so each box will take 2, 2, 2, 2. And then I will start, say, from 90. I don't have to start from 0. Yeah. How about the premium? Premium, I can see the highest is 9. This one I can go 1, 1, 1, 1. Great. So then I'm lucky. Now I can go ahead and draw my graph. I have to just rub this. Now I can go ahead and draw my graph. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can go to 12. Very easy. So I start from 90. So I'm cutting this. Yeah. So we have here 90, 92, 2, 2, 94, 96, 98. We have in this case here 100, 102, 104, 106, 108, 110, 112, 114. And then we have a loss somewhere here. Yeah, so -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 was the highest, right? And then the highest here, positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can just seize at 9. I can seize at 9. I can seize at 9. So then we start with the first price, the first selling price. The market price there is 114. 114, the profit is 9. The first one is 114 versus 9. So 114 is here. So 114 is here. I'm so sure you guys will be able to do a better graph than mine. Up to 9. That is the first one. You put a mark there. Put a mark there. Put a mark there. Yeah. And then you go to the next selling price. What is the next selling price? What is the next selling price? Is there somebody who is able to see the next? 112, isn't it? So 112, Rono, check this. 112 versus the second profit here is 7, isn't it? So 112 versus 7. So long as you remember that here you're plotting profit here versus selling price down here. How you put the axis numbers doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. So from there we go to the third one, 110 versus this 5. So we have here 110 versus 5. 110 versus 5. From there we have the next one is 108. So 108 versus 3. 108 versus 3. From there we have, ladies and gentlemen, 106. 106 versus 1. 106 versus 1. From there we have the next selling price is 105. So 105 versus 0. So 105 around here. Yeah, versus 0. After that we have 104. 104 versus -1. 104 versus -1. Yeah, after that we have 102. So we have 102 versus -3. 102 versus -3. Put a mark there. Then we have 100 versus -4. 100 versus -4. From there, you have 98. 98 versus -5. Do we have -4 really? It was 100. Yeah, 100, whatever. So the next one will be 98 versus something -5. Then we have 96 versus -5. So now it's stabilizing. So you end up getting something like this. I think even this one is supposed to be. You'll end up getting a straight line, and then of course, which is flat. And then of course, now the others, you'll also get a pretty cool straight line. If you're using, in this case here, yeah, a pretty cool straight line. Yours will be much better than mine. Yeah, what in form starting at 90? So remember, you can see here, if you started from, say, 0, all the way from 0 up to 94, there is nothing. Although there is nothing wrong, you can also say, for example, each box to have 10, 20, but you see from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you've got no points there. That's why we normally come and cut this graph. But even if you started with whatever, you graphing really is not an issue. It doesn't matter. Graphing is not an issue. 105 versus 0 iko wapi? You know, I grabbed mine. Sijika kuna 105 versus 0. Purity, use your points. Mine is just for demonstration purposes. I'm so sure you have everything correct there. Just use your points. My points are not very good. My points are not very, very good. So do you guys have some kind of a graph down there? Do you have some kind of a graph down there, my students? It doesn't matter how it looks like. It could be looking like, so long as you have a graph. So long as you have a graph. That is the most important thing. And then they told us, ladies and gentlemen, there to do what here? To make a comment. The comment in this case here is that the comment, if you look at down there, they have told us to interpret the graph. They have told us to interpret the graph. And then, of course, we can tell them that you can see here, the higher in this case here, the market price, the higher the what here? The profit, the higher. So there is a direct relationship between selling price and the profit, because you can see this positivity. Yeah. In terms of losses, we are, we have a floor. We can't go below -5. So -5 happens to be our worst what here? Our worst point, which is maximum. So we are saying from the graph here, we are able to see positivity, that there is a positive relationship between selling price and what here? And the profit. The more the selling price, the higher the profit. However, in terms of losses, we have a maximum loss of Kenya shillings 5. In terms of losses, we are capped. We can't go beyond that. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we should be able to just leave that question here where we have reached. Because you can imagine, if, for example, you are not able to interpret the question very well from the beginning, should we be arguing about the graph? Should we be arguing about the graph? To me, the most important thing is that I'm able to do number 1 and number 2. Not many students in Kenya will be able to do number 1 and number 2. That is the most important. That is the most important. That is the most important. So do you allow Mwalimu to take on the next question? And before I take on the next question, students asked here, what if this was a put option? So when it is a put option, we reverse the formula. Thanks for asking that. It is a very, very good question. If you're told that this is a put option, if it's a put option and then you are given those many selling prices, if it's a put option and then you are given those many selling prices, now to get value of a put option. Value of a put option. You reverse the formula. You say it's X minus the market prices given. Market prices provided. And then, of course, you can never have negatives, eh? Yeah, you can never have negatives. So if it's a put option, this is how you do it. If it's a call option, you start with market price minus X. So I believe, ladies and gentlemen, at least you have, the worst bit which can ever happen to you in terms of advanced FM is to get to a question that you know nothing whatsoever about. But at least when you know Roman 1, you know Roman 2, you are kind of taken care of very well. Yeah, you're kind of taken care of very, very well. Roman 1, Roman 2, not many students are able to do even to get started. I know of so many students in AFM, I was an invigilator. So many of our students, in this case, they would just get a paper and then they are scared. I think it's the color or the smell of that paper. Yeah, they simply look around like this, yeah, they're quite, and then they walk away. In the first 30 minutes, they just disappear. So if you'll be able to do Roman 1 and Roman 2, that I can assure you, you'll pass. So can I now go to the next question, ladies and gentlemen? Or you did this exam in 2020? Yeah. There is something low-hanging, yes. There is something low-hanging. Now, then we go to this other great question, my good students. This is the question that I would want us to do. Yeah. So somebody is asking you that, were you doing these exams in 2020? Never judge. You listen, but you should never judge. Don't judge. Don't judge. Yeah. November 2018, question number 5. November 2018, question number 5B. November 2018, question number 5B. There is somebody who still wants us to interpret. There is somebody who wants us to interpret benevolent. We are not interpreting. After all, when I had the graph here, we said, you can see in this case, there is some positivity. The higher the market price, the higher the profit. And then you can see in terms of losses, we have a maximum loss. Again, benevolent. The moment you know number 1 and number 2, you are okay in this question, I can assure you. You'll not even be able to draw the graph in an exam. You don't trust me. You won't be able to draw the graph in an exam. You'll be a genius for you to be able to draw a graph. That one I can assure you. Please, let's go and harvest some other low-hanging fruits, which in this case, here somebody is asking there, which is so interesting, Great. Yeah. Purchasing power parity, yeah. Ulijua huwezi kosa, eh? Purchasing power parity, yes. November 2018, question number 5B. So have we gotten that question paper, all of us? November 2018, question number 5B. Have we gotten that question, all of us? Great. Jane is saying, well, we do one question of replacement. Which page, I don't know. But some ninja here can send us the question paper in the group, please. Please, some ninja, I don't know. I'm using a very old one. You can see it doesn't even have covers. Very old one. Old is gold. Old is gold. Old is gold. So we are told there, a large manufacturing firm based in Kenya, so you reason like a Kenyan, is tendering for an order in South Africa. So they want to sell because they're manufacturing here and then they get an order in South Africa. The tender conditions state that the payment will be made in South African rands, ZAR, in 24 months' time from now. The company is unsure of what price to tender. The company's marginal cost of production at the time of tendering is estimated to be Kenya shillings 2 million, and a 20% markup is applicable for the company. So exchange rates have been given there. And then I can see, number 1, no forward rate exists for 24 months. Number 2, market price between Kenya and South Africa is given there. Oh, already we have done this question, right? Already they have done this question. Yeah, let's just repeat it. We are revising, right? I think we are revising, right? Let's just repeat it, right? Let's repeat it. Let's repeat it. What do you think? Let's repeat it. We're just revising. We're just revising. We're just revising. We're just revising. So now, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to know here is that we have a selling price. So we have a selling price. So of course they have given us costs. So Kenya. So Kenya, the cost here is 2 million. So to get selling price, we must add markup. So markup is 20%, 20 over 100. So 20 over 100 times 2 million. So 20% times 2 million gives me how much? This gives me how much? This gives me 400,000. Yeah, which gives me 2.4 million, isn't it? So the selling price is 2.4 million. Selling price is 2.4 million. Is that okay? The selling price is 2.4 million. The selling price is 2.4 million. Remember, this is international finance, parity conditions. Even right now where we have reached, ladies and gentlemen, you do not even need to know the topic really. We are revising, isn't it? Yeah, so remember we are adding a profit markup. And the markup is normally based on cost. Yeah, it's normally based on cost. But in your exam, your examiner will give you margin. So he'll tell you that margin, for example, margin is 20 over 100. So if he gives you margin and he has given you cost value, then you must step down to markup. Now remember, if you are given markup, please listen. If markup, please listen. If markup is A over B, remember margin has a bigger base. Margin yana makalio makubwa. Margin iko na makalio makubwa. Margin. So kumaanisha, for me to get margin, I will come and say A over B plus A, because margin always has a bigger base. So please listen. If they tell me markup is 3 over 4, is there somebody who can tell me what the figure of margin will be? Margin will be equal to what here, somebody? If markup is 3 over 4, what will be the figure of the margin? Because margin always has a bigger base. Thank you so much. So it will be 3 over 4 plus 3, which gives me 3 over what here? Which gives me 3 over 7. Great. So then when you go and realize, for example, the examiner has given you margin, and you want to get markup, basi utafanya nini? Utakuja basi unyoe hii ikuwe ndogo sasa. So useme markup, utasema markup, utasema 20 over 100 minus 20. So is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Are we in agreement? If the examiner gives you margin and you're dealing with costs, then you must always go back to markup. You must always go back to markup. So is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Great. So then we are comfortable. Fortunately, this examiner gave us markup, and yet we have cost. So this is an examiner who is wishing us success. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's first of all agree. We can see this examiner has given us some spot rate. He has given us some spot rate. He has given us some spot rate. What is this spot rate? It is 8.025 to 8.125. So we know that these are Kenya shillings per ZAR. So, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, great. So are you able to shake your hands towards your home currency and tell me which one is the buying rate? Are you able to shake your hands towards your home currency and then you tell me which one is the buying rate? 8.025, because you see this company is a manufacturing company based in Kenya. It's a manufacturing company based in Kenya. So in this case here, Kenya shilling is on the left. So the left number becomes buy. So this is buy, and this is what here? Sell. So you are getting marks, remember, you're getting marks. And then tell me, in this case here, is this a selling question or a buying question? Is it a selling question or a buying question? Is it a selling question or a buying question? So remember, we are a manufacturing company. We are a manufacturing company based in Kenya. We are a manufacturing company based in Kenya. Yeah, we have even gotten our cost of production. And then, of course, we deliver the order in South Africa. So we are a selling company. The question is a selling company. And if it is a selling company, then this automatically, so it's a selling or exporting company. So automatically, this becomes a receivable question. This becomes a receivable question. And of course, if it's a receivable question, you know you can only receive something from a foreign boyfriend, isn't it? From a foreign boyfriend. Do you remember now this will be a foreign boyfriend? And if it's a foreign boyfriend buys dinner. So it means if it's a receivable question, the role of the bank is to do what here? Role of the bank is to do what here, somebody? The role of the bank is to buy. Because it's a receivable question, the role of the bank is to buy. Up to here, we together? Up to here, we together? Question again, please help Mwalimu here. This question is November 2018, question number 5B. November 2018, question number 5B. Will they test this question really? Will they give us this question? Let's just finish it. So role of the bank is to buy, and if it is buying, this will be the rate. So this rate here, 8.025 Kenya shillings per South African rand. Per South African rand. So then we have been able to know. But now remember, there is a question, ladies and gentlemen, here. Sheila Yoniganio, FRBL. Foreign boyfriend. Don't worry about that, Sheila. Don't worry about that. For now, just focus first of all here. Know that when it's a receivable, and especially when you are a girl, you shall never forget this. When you're a girl, you shall never forget this. That if I'm receiving, then I can only receive anything in this case here when this is a foreign boyfriend. Local boyfriends like myself here, what do you receive from me? Yeah, international disaster. A local boyfriend, BL, sells, isn't it? Sells. We shall overcome. Don't worry about that. You should be able to watch videos of money markets. Now, ladies and gentlemen, remember this is spot rate. This that we have here is spot rate. And what do they want us to do? Using the purchasing power parity model, recommend the tender price. So you see now here, they want us to use purchasing power parity to get a locked-in price, which will be applicable in 2 years' time. Note number one, they are telling us no forward rate exists for 24 months' time from today. But these are long order. So then they want us to use purchasing power parity to calculate a forward rate. They want us to use purchasing power parity to calculate a forward rate. How do we get this forward rate using purchasing power parity? We normally say F equals the spot, which I've been able to identify here, into 1 plus inflation country A all over 1 plus inflation country B, or even B and C, doesn't matter. So remember, purchasing power parity, we use inflation. Any information given down there about interest is not relevant. Is not relevant. So here we are using inflation. We are using here inflation. So local boyfriend receives from foreign girlfriend. Thank you so much, George, for owning this up. Yeah, so in this case here, forward equals spot into 1 plus inflation in country A into 1 plus inflation in country B. So remember, the exchange rate given here is 8.025 Kenya shillings per South Africa rand. So you can see this is like an over. So which country is the top country? Which country is the top country? It's Kenya, isn't it? Yeah, you'll get somebody telling me that, the top country has to be the superpower. South Africa is a superpower. Who told you that Kenya can't beat South Africa? It's not about beating. It's about which currency is on top. So here, Kenya shilling is on top. So it means that Kenya is country A, top country. Top country. Therefore, our S is 8.025 into 1 plus inflation in Kenya. Are you able to see inflation in Kenya, ladies and gentlemen? Are you able to see inflation in Kenya? So inflation in Kenya, they are giving us a figure. If you look at this question very well, inflation in Kenya is 8%. So that is 0.08. Remember that is per annum, and whatever you're fixing is for how many years? For 2 years. Whatever we are fixing here is for 2 years. So 0.08 times 2. All over, 1 plus, what is the inflation in South Africa? Inflation in South Africa, it is 0.06. Remember this 0.06% given there is per annum. It's even written there, annual inflation. And we're looking at a 2-year forecast. So times 2. So then from here, ladies and gentlemen, what you shall come and do here is to use your abracadabra. So if I'm the one doing this, first of all, I'll start with what we have in brackets. So I will say into brackets 1 plus 0.08 times 2. I close brackets, then I say divided by, open another bracket for 1 plus 0.06 times 2, I close. Whatever answer I get, I multiply it with 8.025, and then I'll be able to get the forward. Yeah, can somebody help Aflin by sharing this question on WhatsApp, kindly? Kindly help Aflin by sharing this question on WhatsApp. So according to Gloria Zawadi, you guys are very, very good names. Very good names. She's telling me, in this case here, it is 8.3116 Kenya shillings per ZAR, per South African rand. So please, how you do it inside here is really, really critical. Yeah, so if you have a problem, of course, you can first of all multiply. So like when you multiply, this will be 0.16. So then this one here will be 8.025 times 1.16, because when you take this plus now this, all over 1.12. So perhaps you can do it that way. If you do it this way, you will still end up getting this. So remember that the question is all about, already your selling price in Kenya shillings. Then what will this selling price be in South African rands? That is the question. If you read the question very well, the question is quite easy. They simply want you to translate the selling price in South African rands. And fortunately, we know our selling forward contract rate. So from here, we know that 8.3116 Kenya shillings equals 1 South African rand. How about how much in Kenya shillings? What is the selling price in Kenya shillings? Yeah, what does additional information 1 mean here? So additional information 1, no forward rate exists for 24 months time. So forward rate is not there. That's why we are looking for it. That's why we looked for it. Yeah, in the mock, somebody wants me to do this. So remember, this is 2.4 million. 2.4 million Kenya shillings will end up giving us what? So it will be 2.4 million times 1 all over 8.3116. Then you have your figure in South African rands. And that is done. So the thing is, you do not have to get everything, but there are some low-hanging marks there. Like writing the formula is a low-hanging mark that you can easily get. So I believe, ladies and gentlemen, given that this question has been done by two ninjas, I believe now you have even understood it much better. Is that okay? Is that okay? Have you understood it much better? Bernard, I may not be able to answer your question. How is the marking done? I mean, Bernard, it's just formulas. Very easy. Get the theory. Don't worry about that. You try to know most of the things correct, and you will be able to be okay. You'll be able to be okay. Because like now this question, perhaps you not have even followed the selling price in Kenya. No. Perhaps somebody would have just done just forecasting using the purchasing power parity. Purchasing power parity. Is that okay? All right. I move kidogo. All right. Great. So I can see they still have some questions they want me to do. Don't worry about them. Remember, we said this class should be exactly 1 hour. I leave you. You guys should be able to freshen up a little bit. Eat some light dinner. And then you continue reading, say, after 10 p.m. Otherwise, I don't know whether tomorrow you have time for me. Tomorrow you should be able to do like now many hours. If you have time for me, well, I'll be able to start with that question, mock paper question. If you have time for me tomorrow, even if you tell me tomorrow from 8 a.m. up to 1, that will really be good. The only time I'm engaged is from 2 p.m. Because from 2 p.m. to late in the evening, I'll be doing financial reporting. Yeah, now you can't tell me that even tomorrow you're going to work. If you're going to work tomorrow, then please start applying for new jobs. Yeah. Yeah, let me see what they're saying. They're available. I don't have a problem. From 8 a.m. will be nice. Will be nice meeting you guys. From 8 a.m. Oh, there is Sabbath. My network had an issue, Lena. I'll be able to repeat that. So ladies and gentlemen, what do we do about this church, the Sabbath keepers? And it's really, really critical. Really critical. So I don't know whether we could proceed and have the class and then we have it recorded.